Hey Shannon, thanks for joining me.
Hey, glad to be here.
So I am so grateful that you have carved out some time to talk with me and our community about attending retreats with me. Uh, you have attended several that I have participated in leading, so you have a wealth of experience that you can lean into, I'm sure. So I'd like for you to share. Where you're at, what got you to the retreats that you participated in with me, and what was the kind of the not kind of what was the driving desire that led you to participate in any specific or all the retreats that you've done with me?
All right. And how much time do we have? No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
right.
So the first retreat that I attended, you were co-hosting with a friend of ours. And honestly, I was going through a grieving period of my sister-in-law passing away unexpectedly. And she was more like a sister to me, best friend. And I have no doubt that she had part in this retreat just popping up on my phone out of nowhere.
Mm.
And that retreat was formed a was very interesting. I don't think I'd ever been to a retreat before that. And so it opened me up to a whole new way of discovering myself, of and giving me tools and gifts to continue my journey. I've been on, I say, a spiritual journey. I think we are all on a spiritual journey when we're born, but we kind of get caught up in life when we have kids and working and all the other stuff that goes on. But basically, since I was 30 and I had some kind of aha moment, well, actually, my brother gave me a book and just that totally changed my life and the way I looked at things. So I am now just turned 63. So I've been on this journey for a while with books and classes and so on. But that first retreat that I went to and met you, which to me opened up a whole new friendship and bond that we've shared, because not only have I gone to several of your retreats, I've also used your knowledge and used you to heal a lot of things that have popped up in my life. And then we've also shared a bond of friendship, which to me is like the most beautiful thing that I've
Mm.
gotten out of the retreat. So the first retreat was
Agreed.
agreed. So the first retreat, and the thing about, when you go to retreats, and I'm sure everybody has experienced this while you're in retreat, if it's a good one, and being held with love and so on, you come out of it and you're just feeling like, oh, I'm going to make all these changes, and I met all these wonderful people, and yeah, that lasts for a while, kind of like that honeymoon stage. But I think because we still kept in contact, and then the next time that you co-hosted the retreat at this particular place, I also made lifelong friends. It's been 5 years ago,
Hmm.
or no, it would have been
Been more
six.
than that, yeah.
It was
Hmm.
6 years ago because it was before COVID. I mean, isn't that how we tell time now? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that awful? I guess. I don't know. Maybe it helps me tell time. But I made lifelong friends at that retreat, and we still
Mm.
keep in touch. So to me, that was, and honestly, that retreat. So how did I get to that retreat? It was hosted, and they had a raffle. The person that was co-hosting the retreat had a raffle. You can buy a ticket to help raise money for what she was raising money for. And I told my angels, I'm like, if you want me to go to this retreat, I need to win. Okay. And I won. So that's how I ended up there. And it was the best ever,
Hmm.
at that time. And then the most recent retreat, I honestly do not remember. I don't know if we were just talking and you mentioned that you were holding a retreat in Sedona, and I just immediately said, I'm in. And there was no if, ands. I didn't ask anybody's permission, which I shouldn't have to, but I do have a family. I just basically told my family because I do take care of my grandkids sometimes, and I was like, I'll be gone. this, this time, this is important to me. And then while we were in retreat in Sedona, came up with the idea for a retreat later this year in Montana around the Yellowstone. And I'm like, I'm in,
Yeah.
because uh, so it's just, it, there's no other, I do tend to listen to my intuition. And it was just like, yes, there was just that, yes, we're doing this. And
Mhm.
there's no and if ands or buts. So that's how I started going to retreats.
Well, I'm grateful that you have continued to join with the retreats that I lead because you always bring a beautiful essence into every environment.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah. So let's move to another question here. So during the retreat, um, and maybe spit choose one that really was like the game changer for you. But what have you learned or experienced that has been the most valuable to you?
what's been most valuable, and I think each retreat builds on the other.
Hmm.
Okay. Because each retreat brings its own gifts. I think the biggest gift I've received is you're on the right path. Because we're always questioning ourselves. Well, maybe not everybody is, but I'm always questioning, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right way? Yada, yada. Am I enough? And each retreat has built that, yes, I'm on the right path. And each retreat helps me find myself more, helps
Mm,
bring me back to me.
mm,
Because, as we're babies, we start out as our pure selves, and then the world comes in and teaches us what they need to teach us. So we survive in the world. And then to come back to ourselves, I think is the greatest gift that we can give
mm,
ourselves, because then
yeah.
that's where we can really live from our truth.
Oh yeah, for sure. Was there anything that I led in the retreats that helped you get there? That helps support that journey?
Well, I think the biggest gift that you bring is
Mm,
a safe container that even though you're with other women that you've never met before from all over, different places coming in, that we all feel so safe to share our bare souls and
mm,
what's going on, and being able to bring up what is stuck inside of us around strangers. I mean, you're not going to go to the grocery store and say, guess what? Because, then they're going to haul you away or something.
oh gosh.
Sorry. but but yes, I think I mean, you bring so many gifts to your retreats, but I think to me the most important is that sacred container, that I know that I'm safe in whatever I'm experiencing, and that you're always there with the love to, I don't want to say receive the energy, but help go through it.
Mm,
And another one of your gifts is that you don't tell us what to do. You help us come to that decision by ourselves.
mm,
And then you're like, well, yes, that's what I was thinking, but you had to come to that decision.
yeah.
So and which makes us even more powerful
Yeah.
in ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. So, talk to me about Sedona and just because that was the most recent retreat and there were some moments that I saw for you that were really powerful. Can you share any breakthroughs or successes you experienced there that have been transformative for your life?
Well, yes, Sedona was very powerful. Now, I've been to Sedona several other times with my husband. Wasn't quite the same. I mean, he was lovely, and I did feel the energy of Sedona while we were there, and he did give me some time to, because he understands that I like to commune with nature and all that. And okay, you've got 15 minutes to be spiritual. Go do your thing, and I'll read my book. Which is really kind of him. It really is. But yes, this trip, we, I think the first, I mean, all of it was just out of this world. Yeah. I think the first was when we went on a hike to the airport, what are they called?
Yeah, the vortex.
Vortex. Yes,
Mhm.
for some reason I'm thinking whirlpool, vortex. And it was just, I really, I just felt that land. I felt it. It was just that we had a wonderful guide, which you had set up, and he had us stop at different places and can you feel this and that? And then when I would turn around and I would feel the energy, it was just, you could just really feel the power of the land there. So that was awesome. And then you took us to it's the ashram. Is that what it is?
The stupa. Yeah.
The stupa.
Hmm.
So you took us to the Buddha stupa, which was just wonderful. And then they have a medicine wheel there, and I was directed by spirit to walk it, and had a complete, I mean, just started crying, just started absolutely crying, stopped in each, of the four um, spaces. And I was handed a baton of a medicine woman while I was in that space. And it just, what that, what that means, I'm not sure. I mean, I've started, taking an herbal class. I've started a class on how to make my own drums. I am holding my first drumming circle this coming Saturday, which I reached out to people that I don't know that well, but I'm just like, I have to do this because it's time for community. So that was huge. That was huge. And then as we were leaving, oh my gosh, this tree we passed by called out to me, and I said, okay, guys, we got to stop because I got to hug this tree. And I was literally hugging this tree crying. And it was like, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. It was just such a magical moment. It was so magical. And it just, I guess it reinforced what my path, and I still don't know what my role as a medicine woman is. I mean, I do Reiki. I've been doing Reiki for 20 years now and other healing modalities, but this was just like an elder handing me a baton. It was just, you had to be there, I guess. It was so
Right,
beautiful.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had a lot of animal messengers on that retreat, which was really special because they were like walking through our backyard
Yes.
and I think we had some I can't remember like I can't remember everything that we saw, but there was just this element of nature being very present for us while we were there and sharing messages. So
We
yeah,
had
Sedona
bunnies,
was magical in many ways.
we had coyotes,
Yes.
deer.
Hmm.
They're in Arizona, in Sedona, they're called pickering, which is like some kind of wild pig.
Hmm.
Yes, I was in the backyard and there was no fence. They were just, and they kind of just looked at me. Okay, they just walked
Yeah.
through, and then we looked up the meaning of all these animals. And I also believe we saw hawk
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
yes, that was. And when we were telling our guide about some of the animals, they're like, there's some people that come here and they never see any of that.
And
So
we saw it all in like one
we,
day.
we saw it all. Like I said, it was very magical. So when you came up with this thing about the Montana retreat, and I love Yellowstone. I've been there at least 5 times, again with my husband and sometimes with my kids. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So uh, yeah,
And at this point, that's coming up. We've got about 6 months to that retreat, so
yeah,
it's going to be pretty magical.
it is.
Yeah, I love it. So if you were to share any wisdom or encouragement to someone that is considering joining a retreat, what would it be?
Well, first thing I'd say, go for it. Okay, it will change your life in so many ways. And even if you're not I don't know, I'm going to put in quotations, a new age person, and into all the stuff that you might not understand. Let's say that, I don't work in the muggle world anymore. That's what I call it, the muggle world, because I'm a full-time grandma and take care of my animals and such. And I'm very happy not to be in the muggle world. But if you're working in the muggle world, these retreats and the tools that you receive will help you not to struggle so much, give you ways to release the stress that the muggle world could go on. Because even sometimes when I go out to the grocery store, even driving, and it's just, everybody's in a hurry and in their own space and not, uh, yeah, not thinking. They're just blah, 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 I gotta be somewhere, gotta do this, gotta do that. The retreats help open you up to a bigger world than that world. And when you understand the bigger world, it makes some of the things that we get so stressed about so much smaller and
Yeah.
easier to handle.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's it's changing your perspective, right? It's
Yes.
getting out of your routine, out of your mundane, and into seeing things from a different perspective, and realizing, at least for me, travel is such a huge part of my healing journey, and um, what has helped me to step even closer to my purpose and in on this planet, and the experiences that I have had in travel have been have been all over the board. In fact, I wrote a book talking just to this subject about how these experiences woke up different parts of my soul and my purpose. And so that's why I believe that retreats are so important to share with anyone that feels called to participate, because you do get put in a situation where you're like, okay, I'm with this group of women that I most likely don't know. And we're getting down, we're getting into it, we're getting deep. We're not playing in the shallow. It's about really opening up the space and feeling safe to do that. And so I love that you feel inspired to keep coming back. And and I'm so grateful for the beauty and the magic and the perspective that you bring in anything that I've done with you. Even just on a personal level, like our conversations help me to gain clarity when sometimes I'm a little stuck, because we're human, right? So we're all going to go through these different experiences. But I look forward to our time together in Montana, and for whomever it is that is going to join us there, it's going to be a magical experience indeed. And as I like to close everything, unless you have anything else you'd like to share.
Just one more thing. I
Yeah.
do want to point out that the beauty of your retreats is that if when you come out of the retreat, you need help adjusting, you have the tools for that and you're there to continue the journey. Whereas
Hmm.
a lot of retreats you just go to and then you never see these people or hear from them again because that's the only part they do is the retreat part.
Hmm.
You have that continuing relationship if you choose, if someone wants to choose to have that continuing relationship to further their journey, which I think it's so important.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's
Thank you
a
for sharing that. I forget sometimes to be like, yeah, and I have all these other services over here. But I think that being a 20-year facilitator, it's like I'm kind of just doing what I do in the moment that I'm doing it, which I think is important too. But
yes.
you're right. Yeah, there is that, the journey with anyone that's participating in a retreat is usually either someone is coming to the retreat because they've been journeying with me already, or they go to the retreat and then they're like, I want to do deeper work, and then dive deeper, and clearly, I have lots of opportunities for that to happen.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that and affirming that for me. I'm very grateful to be of service and support to you and all the beautiful souls that have found their way to me. So with that, thank you so much again with unlimited gratitude. I offer my thanks. And we're going to close here with uh, our closing, which is the light in me loves, honors, and cherishes the light in you. When you are in that place in you and I'm in that place in me, we are truly one. Namaste.
Namaste.